What's going on, guys? Charles Braun here, aka the Handsome Homebuyer. On today's podcast, we have the creative content genius of
Levy, Tejada,
and Anthony De Los Reyes, aka Train. Yeah, kid. Welcome back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer podcast. My name is Charles, aka the Handsome Homebuyer, aka Captain Permit, aka
El Judío Maravilloso.
You're like, I want you to give it a roll. You're like kind of Spanish.
Yes. El
Judío
Maravilloso. I can't pronounce that part. It's okay. Don't worry. It's fine.
I like it. It's pretty good.
Where was I? Where does this go now?
Captain Permit.
That's right, Captain Permit. You need plans, you need permits, you need anything permit related. Fuck, I feel like I'm no longer mysterious. Like I'm boring in your eyes. It's just like, you know what? It's just the same shit, Charles, different day. 516-513-8838 from tip to tip, and I mean Montauk to Queens. We do anything permit related, from decks, sheds, legalizations, interior alterations. We are an attorney, a realtor, a mortgage broker, a title agent, an investor, a homeowner's best friend all day, every day. And obviously, if you have a property that smells like cat pee, dated from the 1960s, 6 inches of mold on the wall, human waste floating past the basement steps, land, commercial property, just got a 138-bed assisted living facility approved in the village of Farmingdale yesterday. What?
Yay.
I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. All right, so we got a very interesting podcast today. I feel like I'm looking at two brothers. I feel like I'm looking at one man's alter ego.
You're looking dude.
This is like a Fight Club scenario. This is like Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt, Eric Norton kind of thing.
He could be Brad Pitt.
This shit's crazy. We have our in-house magician, content magician. You know him, you love him, you've seen him. He's taken the Handsome brand to an unbelievable level, and we're only getting started. My man Levy, and the creator of the Ferrari video. Bro.
Thank you.
Oh, you made
Thank
that.
you.
I didn't know.
The
a sick video.
I didn't know what I was doing until I showed up.
Bro,
the creator
that's a
of
secret
the
we can't tell anybody.
Ferrari video for LLS. If you haven't seen it, we're gonna link it. Like Levy's gonna do that thing he does, and I just point and it's there. Exactly. Absolutely awesome. Super talented guy. I met, how long ago we met? Like a year ago? A year and a half ago? Yeah, about a year ago?
No, 2018 was when Dean started his podcast. You were his first podcast interview, I think, with the camera on.
So it was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago, end of 2018, going into 2019, so early 2019.
Anthony De Los Reyes, right?
Yes.
Smooth, right?
That is pretty smooth.
AKA Train. So I'm sitting here with two of the top content creators. I mean, definitely Long Island. We could possibly say the state of New York.
Oh, that's too kind.
We could possibly say the East Coast. We could say whatever the fuck we want. I call myself the number one fix and
It's
flip
your
investor.
podcast.
Yeah, it's my podcast. Yeah. I call myself the number one fix and flip investor online. Who knows if it's fucking true? But if I believe it,
it is true.
It's not a lie. So we're talking about all things content created, all things content. And I never got this from you, so I'm actually curious to know how you got into the content game.
Oh, I was just talking to Levy about this earlier. I started when I was 17, 18 years old. I was one of those D-bags in high school that threw parties. And Project X just
So what do you mean by parties? Like at people's houses? In the woods?
It evolved into that.
You'd get the keg?
No, I wouldn't even get a keg. I've made a whole system around it. So I went to Hills East for 2 years, and then I went to a private school after that for lacrosse.
Okay.
And going to the private school, it opened up my eyes to a whole different plethora of people. Because when you're in public school, you're just in a little bubble. But when you go to a private school, it's mainly everyone across the island.
Got it.
And Project X just came out prior. I'm like, guys, we have so many people that go to this school. We can throw parties just like this. This is when partying was my number one thing way back in the day. I'm not like that anymore.
I don't know, man. You look like you live a pretty awesome life.
Oh, I very much enjoy my life. But partying till like 4 a.m. or like massive groups of people, no, I'm all about like my inner circle now.
How old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 25 years old.
Okay.
But
Did you go to college?
I did go to college. I went to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
You went to RPI?
I went to RPI for
Dude,
Industrial
that's crazy.
Management Engineering.
I went to Albany.
Oh, no way. That's high. No, that's high.
So weird.
Guys,
I was like, no wonder you partied hard. So did I. That's so funny.
But when I was Project X just came out, and I wanted to get into GoPros back in the day. I was super into making like snowboarding videos and just extreme sports and just all these videos of high adrenaline.
Were you in?
Yeah.
Did you actually do those things? Were you into that?
Yeah,
Or-
I was
okay.
super into that.
Got it.
And so were most of my friends at the time. And I remember my parents like, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday?" I'm like, "Oh, I want this. I want a camera. I want a GoPro." And they're like, "All right, yeah, that we can do that." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." My friend Vinny comes over, and I didn't even tell them about the party until maybe a day before or so, I think. And Vinny comes over and he goes, "Train, you got to record the party. You got a camera." I'm like, "Yeah, I do got a camera. I should record this party," because it was mainly for the sports.
You knew nothing about no training, no schooling,
I
no
knew
nothing.
Absolutely
Never
nothing.
handled a camera.
No, never. I was just like, all right, F it. I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm gonna do my best, and no matter what happens, happens. So Vinny comes up. He was my first shot I ever took. He's sitting in like one of those lounge chair things, sitting back like this. And he looks up, he goes, "Yo." And I'm like, all right, that's the first clip that I ever took in my entire life. I still have that clip. It's saved onto every hard drive that I have because it's one of my most favorite clips. I don't know why. I'm going on a tangent right now.
It's your. But that's where it all. That's basically where it all started.
Oh, it did.
That was like
right in my room.
That's what set it all.
That's what set it all off. I invited only 60 people to the party, and it blew up. Of like 150 to 200 kids just showed up, and I'm like, oh. So every person that like called in saying like, "Oh, Train, can I come through?" I said, if you come through, this is how I handled the keg situation. Was every extra person that you bring, you have to bring a 36 rack, and that's the communal beer that goes into like our coolers that we have.
Got it.
So everyone, I only invited 60 people. There's 150, 200 people coming by. There's 110 to 80 extra people in my backyard.
What did your parents think about this?
Oh no! As long as no one drove and no one drove home and everyone slept over, it was fine. Or if you had a car ride home, then that's okay. But no one was allowed. If you drove there, you had to sleep over. So it turned into a massive sleepover. It was
Nice.
pretty cool. But yeah, that's how we handled everything. And then I posted the video maybe a week later or so, and it blew up. Well, high school blew up, and people hit me up saying, "Oh, Train, can you film my video?" I'm like, "Oh, if you want me to film your graduation party or one of your parties, my friend Vinny's gonna DJ. You're gonna let all of our friends in. You're gonna pay us, and you're gonna pay us some liquor too, whatever we asked." I go, done deal. So I turned filming sports things into filming parties and organizing parties, and then that evolved into me elevating the quality of videos I want to do for parties. That instead of even filming parties, I just elevated into filming random stuff of people's businesses, and here I am today, Train Productions. Boom.
That's fucking. And especially so you're 25. So that started 8 years ago, which was really like now content creation is a career. Like, it's an industry. It's like it's a freaking $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
And you started kind of right at the beginning.
I did start at the beginning, but one thing that I do wish that I did do back in the day was post more professional things on YouTube rather than just post it on Facebook and hope for the best in like a little Facebook group, because I didn't want those videos getting out to the world of kids doing like party.
Is it still out
stuff.
there?
It is out there, but you can only have a secret code to get in. And
Can't get it then.
sorry, everybody.
How did we ever talk about how you got into this?
I feel like when you interviewed me, possibly, but it's not as epic as that. That's a pretty sick story. I was just like,
well,
whoa,
thank
that's
you.
so cool, man.
Thank you.
I feel like all we do is drive around and I showed you shitty houses
I think so.
in the hot ass heat.
But those were pretty cool houses.
I mean, it was interesting, but I don't think we ever actually sat down and talked about how you got into the field.
Okay. Well, it was actually a while back. This was like 2000, like literally 2004. I was 14 years old at the time. And I was a skateboarder, big into skateboarding, and all my friends were big into skateboarding, but they were just so much better than me. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take my mom's camcorder and start filming my friends skateboarding. That's really all I did. And then for years, I was just the person that filmed my friends skateboarding because I was not good at skateboarding. So it all started like from skateboarding. I had like our own crew. We called it like Senseless Media at the time in like 2005. And then from like that time up until like high school, 2008, I was doing this constantly. We had like our own website. That's when YouTube first started out. I think it's still out there, like those videos and stuff. And then I took a break from 2008 to 2012 because that's when I went to college and partied a little too much. So I didn't really do too much there. And then I graduated with an IT degree, hence why, IT stuff.
Which is extremely valuable.
Yeah.
Levy is like the master of all. Master of anything tech related. Anything I absolutely suck at, Levy's fucking awesome at.
It's a good compliment.
So it works.
But after college, I got a job in IT. I didn't like it, and then I just got the full-time job and saved up to get my first camera. And after that, I was just like, this is pretty fun. I should have never stopped. And I started taking photos. I was at my church, and then they saw that I was like into like photography, and I would always like go to the events and be the one that takes photos and stuff. And then a good friend of mine, he's the youth pastor there. He was about to get married. He was like, Levy, can you shoot photos for me? I'm like, I've never done this before. Like never shot photo like professionally and never got paid for anything like that. And then so I was like, fine, but just don't expect anything great. And gracefully, like the photos actually turned out really good. And then from there it just blew up. Everyone's like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?
That's all it takes.
It started from like a free to fee type of thing. And I really didn't have any training other than like YouTube training, like just watching videos constantly. And then I would, an idea popped in my head. I would call these studios around Long Island saying, hey, do you need an assistant? Like, I'll do it for free if you want. Like, I'll carry your stuff. I just, I'm into photography and I want to learn as much as I can. And thankfully, a lot of people responded and they said, look, I'm not going to let you do it for free. I'll pay you. But yeah, definitely. Like, let me know. And I started working for all these studios. And then from there, working all these weddings, I came across people who do video constantly and just sparked an interest. And I was just like, I remember when I used to film my friends skateboarding and stuff like that. Why don't I do it for weddings? And I hit up one of the people I saw at one of the weddings. And from there, it just grew. I was just like, all right, forget it. I'm not doing photography anymore. Video is just so much fun. So much fun, but it's a lot more work than photography, I'll say. But like from there, just started doing a lot of things like in weddings, and then people constantly, I would post it on like my Facebook or Instagram, and then other businesses would hit me up, like from gyms and stuff like that. And from there, it would just grow. But the real money was weddings. And then COVID happened, so the wedding industry is just like, as you can imagine, it's just like anyone that's in the wedding industry, they know that like pretty much we didn't make any money this year because everything's forwarded to next year.
Yeah.
So everything we're supposed to make this year is next year.
You guys are both Filipino background, right?
Yes.
Are you guys both first generation Filipino?
Yes.
I am not. I am second, I guess. My parents, dad was born here. My mom was born in the Philippines.
Okay.
But they met when they were like 8.
Would you guys say you came from like very traditional like families?
No.
No?
My family for sure. Definitely.
I'm just because the only thing I'm thinking is like, if I know that you come from a traditional family, I didn't know if you did. Mm-hmm. So now you guys are in an industry that is totally out there. I was just curious to know, what your family said when you were like,
they hated it. No, they hated it.
Like, I'm going to video. Like,
Yeah,
I'm going to do
not
video.
about it.
That's what I'm
at
saying.
all. It was either doctor, lawyer, or engineer.
Exactly. That's my point.
Which is what you are, right?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, hype. Let's go. But yeah, no, it was a reason for me to go to college. That was basically it. Was either doctor, lawyer, engineer. It was never spoken, but it was always that mentality. Assumed you had to be one of those things, and not just from my parents. It was just like my whole family comes from the medical industry.
Is your mom a nurse?
No, actually she wasn't. She was a insurance at Geico, I think.
Okay.
But all of her sisters, or one of her sisters and my grandma, and that were nurses. My dad's mom, my grandma, we call her Mama, bless her soul, was a nurse, I think. And then my grandpa, call him Papa, was a surgeon or a doctor or something like that. And yeah.
Where so people that haven't seen your stuff, you work a lot in the fight industry.
I love it.
Is that just something you love, or you like gravitated towards that? Or you working with somebody that filmed that, or
it kind of fell into my lap. I used to.
You got a smooth voice, dude.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Like
you.
I'm like sitting, I'm like, yeah, this will.
Thank you.
Yeah. Keep talking. Just keep talking.
Now I'm self-conscious about how I'm talking.
Bro, there are definitely lots of ladies in the Midwest that would just love to hear you.
Oh, don't be
voice for like
silly.
$5.99.
Too kind.
$5.99 a minute.
But it started off as I used to work for this gentleman named Ed Turney, as you remember.
That's how I met you.
Yep. And he had this friend, or this guy named Andrew Stock, excellent fighter. If you have to watch a fight, watch Andrew Stock fight.
Mm-hmm.
That kid, amazing.
Do you train or no?
No, I don't. I wish I did, but that's just an excuse for me not to train. Honestly, I should probably train. But yeah, he brought me in. I wasn't supposed to be there because you're not supposed to bring a videographer there, and I just walked in until they told me to stop, and I ended up on the ringside. I'm like, oh, this is dope. I thought I was going to be in the crowd, like in the back with a bunch of heads in front of me. No, right to ringside.
That's it.
Instead of just filming stock, because he wasn't on until I think 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I got there at like 6. I had nothing to do, so I just started filming a bunch of the random fighters prior to his fight.
Nice.
And yeah, I made a highlight video for them for Trident fights.
Okay.
And on Monday or Tuesday, I posted on Instagram. And then the owners of it, Nick and Chris, excellent human beings. Definitely, look up Trident Fights. Sorry to do a plug right now.
Yeah, cool.
Look up Trident Fights. They got some professional stuff going on over there, and they are excellent human beings and helped me in my career as a videographer in many ways, or editor in many ways. But I get back to it. Made a video for them. They contacted me saying, "Who are you? Where did you get this footage?" I'm like, "Oh, I made all this for you. You could have it for free." And then they said, "Awesome, we want you for the next fight." And then it kind of just stuck. After that, it became a big snowball effect.
That's sick.
From that. Thank you.
It's meant to be.
Thank you.
But you pretty much do a little bit of everything. And I mean, the thing that, if you haven't seen Train Stuff, you got to check it out. I mean, awesome.
Too kind. Thank you.
Sick.
I don't know what, when you came onto the set of the Ferrari video, you were like, bro, it was like a switch just flipped. Like, you were like,
thank you.
boom. It's like direct mode. All right, boom. You're doing this, and it was like you were directing like a rap video. You're like, flare the jacket, do this, point at it. I was like, bro, this guy's the man. Otherwise, I had no idea I needed to be directed. You're like, sit this way. You're in the plane. You're running through. I need this look, and you really made the production of that video.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. That's very kind of you. You have to tell people. You have to let people imagine themselves as a character in a movie. That's what, when it comes to directing, especially in music videos or any sort of like commercial shoot, you have to give them a vibe that you want, because then that vibe that they bring out is what the consumer or the viewer is going to perceive and how they feel. So videos is all about making people feel a certain way to get a certain reaction, and then eventually funnel into your business and such like that, right? But if people feel an initial like, wow, I feel hope, or wow, I feel like a badass, or I feel like I should be doing something with my life, or anything random like that.
That comes through on camera.
Then that's going to bring positivity to your videos, and then in return, they're going to remember all your stuff, and then eventually lead into your business. But you want people to feel something when they're viewing your videos. If they don't feel anything, then they're not going to remember it. And if you're not memorable, then you're not making an impact, and you should always make your impact more impactful.
How do you do that, though? Because I can imagine, depending on the person, that's not that easy to do. Like, a lot of people, especially today, bro, like, you can't even get people, for as much content as out there, it is so hard to get people to just pick up their phone and make a video, because they are so self-conscious, and they don't know what to say, and they don't know what they don't like what they look like. How do you get into their head like that and just basically make them come out of their shell?
Oh, you let them understand that you are an understanding human being, that you understand that everyone, let them know that you're on the same level as them. You're not higher, you're not lower, you're 100% equal. Everyone goes through different hardships in life. Everyone goes through pretty darn low places in life. And you just have to say, like, hey, listen, I've been there. I've done that. And it opens up the book. You be open to other people, and other people will open up to you. And if they don't open up to you, then it's okay. But just know that once you're opening up to people, that like things just evolve into great content.
I got to ask you the question that everybody's thinking right now. When you put the voice together and everything you just told me, all I'm thinking is, how many women has he talked out of their underwear
Oh no!
With the camera.
No.
With the camera.
No.
I mean, you are smooth, bro.
Thank you. I
You are
appreciate
fucking
that.
smooth.
I appreciate that a lot. But no, I never used my camera as a way to get into a girl's pants or anything like that. Just a disclaimer. I make this solely for making videos to impact other people.
So how have you guys seen the industry change over the 7 years? So, the industry, let's say, can we say it's maybe 10 years old? If that?
Yeah,
Content creation?
2011 is when it kind of started. Or
Yeah, the
2009.
first DSLR, the Canon D Mark II, that came out in like 2009, 2008.
Right, yeah.
They used that to film like Iron Man, I think. And
Oh, you
even
know more than I do then.
Italian Job or something. Yeah, that was the first
didn't
time
know
the
that.
camera like that came out around 2008, 2009. And as soon as they found that out, everyone was like, wow, what the heck? You can get this tiny little camera for like X amount of money and film a nice video. Oh,
Mhm. That's dope.
Can
I
we?
didn't know that.
Shoot.
Hey, I just saw you yesterday, Eric. What's up? What's up?
Are you?
You just messed
Is this live?
Can we use this as two people or no? Was it gonna work?
You just gotta speak into it evenly.
All right, sit down.
Everyone's
All right, you can jump in on the podcast. Put that in. We're doing. Get rid of that fucking mask too. I know you're from Brooklyn now.
You know, it's the
Why
middle
you
of
guys wear fucking
It's the
masks?
middle of January. You bring
we got
a Christmas gift now.
We got a podcast crasher, but it's actually a good thing because we're talking all things content creation with two of the best content creators out there.
Speak
right
closer
now.
though.
I would agree with two of the best content creators.
Bring it in here.
You're
So
too kind.
obviously,
Thank you.
Levy's my man. You've been shooting with Train over there.
I just shot a bunch of content with Train on Wednesday.
Exactly. So that's why we're doing this. That's
Top
why,
notch.
That's why it works perfect.
Thank you.
Top notch. You should see the video that I did with him.
Is it the corner one?
The market update.
The split one?
Yeah, that one is phenomenal.
We're gonna
Thank you.
demo it in this
We'll
thing.
plug it in. We'll plug it in the video.
First of all,
From our secret headquarters in an
look at that
undisclosed
quality.
location I
The
have.
camera, bro. He shot the Ferrari video.
Today is the
Look at this.
I don't need proof. He shot the Ferrari
So he
video.
broke
I
it
got some
down. He
more.
said when there's symmetry in the shot,
Yep.
the odds of somebody watching for longer are higher.
Yep.
So he was like, stand right here. Like, this is all going through his creative genius mind.
Talk about this.
I related it. I just got a nephew, as I post all over social media on my stories. His name is Mason Byron. He's the cutest baby I've ever met. And whenever I see him, my voice goes 10 pitches higher because he's just so cute. But what I've noticed and what I've researched is that babies love symmetry. If the more symmetrical your face is, the more they'll stare at you because it's easier for them to grasp.
Well, the
so they
highest
Happened
understand.
for you?
And no, in order to be a model, right? Because I dated a model scout back in the day.
Not a model.
No, not a model. I dated a model scout, and she would say that you have to have your face has to be extremely symmetrical.
Right.
That's like what's visually appealing. To
Exactly. It's easier to look at and
Mm-hmm.
it's more pleasing. So if the shot is I love symmetry. If the shot is symmetrical, then people are going to view it longer because it's easier for them to look at. It's not straining to the eye. They're not trying to focus on something. It's easier to focus on. So the next time you're recording, try to record somewhere where there's symmetry and then put you or whoever the subject is right in the middle. That's what I did for Eric, and that's how it looked.
My friend said I look like I'm about to drop a new iPhone.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Because I look like Steve Jobs
I mean-
with the sweater.
I mean, but the quality is awesome. It's super
I appreciate
crisp.
that.
It looks
I think
Thank
the
you.
lighting is key.
Thank you.
That was
Lighting
really
is
good
always
lighting.
key. Always.
What did you do
always
for the lighting?
I used one of these lights right here that you have right there, and then I used a fluorescent umbrella thing. It's not
Yeah.
mine.
Like
Yeah.
like one of those to make it softer.
Basically, yeah, like a softbox.
I want to talk about content creation is kind of like real estate in the sense that it can be as big or as little as you want, and there's tons of avenues. You can do the traditional route. 30 years ago, if you're going to do photography, what are you doing? You're doing weddings, basically. That's your thing. Now there's content creation, there's weddings. Like the sky's the limit. So I want to know also, how technology has played into that. Different things that are coming out, making it more affordable. Like now, people, if you have a good eye, you can make a sick video with just this.
That's how I got into the DSLR industry. Actually, is through the iPhone. So I started off as GoPros, but then I realized I don't want that GoPro fisheye lens anymore. I wanted a more traditional shot where more horizontal like this. I used to always record vertically, but then when I went to go put it in my editing software that wasn't Adobe at the time, it was called Power Director or something. It took like 8 hours to render through. But recording like this, you would get the black bars on the side. It doesn't look good. So then I went like this. I'm like, oh wow, that image looks amazing. How can I improve this even more? I did maybe 4 to 6 videos strictly on an iPhone. And then that's when I realized, all right, I got to improve my content. I've got to improve my stuff. Let me go into a DSLR mirrorless camera, and then everything else is history since then.
But on the contrary, I will say, like, all this stuff is important, like all this equipment and stuff. But like, if you look at all these TikTok videos now, it's all about the story. That's all that really matters.
Yep.
If you can take you take your, even though the worst iPhone that's out there right now, and you film like a really good storytelling video, it can still go viral. That's all that really matters.
100%.
I think storytelling is the number one thing out of everything, though.
Talk to people, and obviously I want everybody to weigh in on this. You can kind of start the train around. Talk to people about content creation, how important it is. You guys work with a lot. I mean, you've worked with me in the past 3 months. You've seen what we've done. You've worked with so many different businesses and people. How has what you've done and people going out there and creating content basically like transformed their businesses? Start it up.
So, I know for me personally,
Yeah,
like
stick with this barber. It's great.
great barber, right? Right? I said the other. You know what it was? Now we're getting. You always send me on side tangents.
Bring it back. Bring it
All
back.
right. So I'm not even going to talk about the haircut. Anyway.
Bring it back.
So as far as what has content done for my business, and just here's the thing. The number one problem that every business faces is obscurity. People need to know who you are. Where's people's attention? Where's people's attention right now? Social media, right? So if I want to get the attention of people, whatever business you are in, that is your job as the owner, is to drive traffic, right? So if you're a restaurant owner, a barber, a fix and flip investor, a realtor, even a videographer, your job is to put the word out there on what you do. The best way to do that, in my eyes, is producing content, valuable content. This is the king of it right here.
Hey.
Like the amount of information that I've learned just from watching 1 minute clips from his page is pretty incredible. Like, and then if you throw educational and then entertaining on top of that, it's even crazier.
I'll chime in. You know, I don't even post that many things, and like I see all you guys' stuff, and you guys post a lot, and you guys probably get a lot of business from that. I don't even post that much, but when I do, and like it just, social media just helps so much. Like even like a referral for like filming a wedding, how are they gonna know your video? They go to your Instagram,
Right?
Like, oh, here's this guy. This is what I use for my wedding. They go to my Instagram instantly, or YouTube instantly, and that's, you know, it's just, you have to use it no matter what.
I feel like videographers themselves don't put out enough content.
Well,
Arguably,
because you're working on our content, but I feel like you would get.
That's the age-old thing. It's like I don't
Contractors.
I don't have a house. I mean, I flip a hundred houses a year. I don't even own a house that I live in. It's the same kind of thing.
yeah.
We almost don't have to. I'm not saying like we should, and I'm sure the people like the videographers that are out there that do and that get a lot of business. I don't know. I'm kind of different from Charles in this way. Like I'm content with where I am in life right now. Obviously, I'm still trying to be like better than where I am.
Right.
But like I'm always like I don't want to be filthy rich.
Right.
Like I just want to be content, happy. That's why I do have a side business, but I'm also working for Charles, and it's like a good balance of that.
Right.
But like for the amount I post, I'm still getting good business, which is
Right.
crazy. Just imagine how much if you did post
dialed up
like
a little bit.
Yeah, just did that much.
Well, you could
more.
also use his profile as your profile.
Yeah, I'll just link it over to
direct people to Charles's
That's
page.
what I do is when people ask me, do you have a business card and stuff? Like, no, just go on my Instagram real quick and can you just check out those videos? And they go, oh, awesome, sweet. No, social media is really, or just content creation with social media is just elevated everything that I've done. Like I would not have met Dean. I would not have met you. I would not have met any of you guys if I didn't go through Instagram or any sort of social media platform and create content that way, honestly. And you guys are excellent people. So
isn't that crazy though? Everybody talks about the negatives of social media and what it's doing to our children and the fact that we can't get off our phone.
There's drama. That's why everyone wants to talk about it.
And that is all true. Do not get me wrong. I'm addicted to my phone. I probably shouldn't watch as many TikToks as I do and whatever. But I get to meet Charles. I get to meet Train. I get to meet Levy.
But they say the people that that are stuck on their phone, the generations ago, we didn't have the convenience of having a phone, but we would be stuck watching television. We'd be stuck playing our Game Boy.
Right.
So it
so
almost
it's the
same thing, just different
demographic.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't think the phone's a terrible thing. I mean, listen, do I wish kids went out and played a little bit more?
Yeah.
Now I'm like,
Oh,
now
yeah.
I feel like
Oh,
an
yeah.
old man, but I think that's important, yeah. But otherwise, like, bro, this is the future. It is what it is. Every generation changes. Everything changes.
yeah.
I want you guys to talk to kids out there that are interested in getting into the space that that don't necessarily have the money, or they don't have the ability to get the education and go to school or get training. What do you think is the best place for them to start? Way to start? Cheapest tech that really puts out a decent product.
YouTube. Go on YouTube. I
YouTube.
didn't go to film school. I didn't take any classes. I didn't take any classes at all. Go to YouTube and then trial and error. So when you're going to record things, look at what looks good. If it doesn't look good, put in the effort to move the camera and get the better angle. If you want a certain movement, walk slowly with it. It's all about effort. And if you don't want to put in effort into it, then it's not going to work. But go on YouTube, watch tutorials, watch Justin Oshido, watch Peter McKinnon, and Matt, I can't pronounce his last name.
Our visual?
No, Matt. Good guy.
Hapuya.
Hapuya. I can never pronounce his name.
Matty Hapuya.
Yeah. Watch those three guys, and and Max Novak. Max Novak is a great visual effects editor. Watch those four people, and your whole game will elevate completely. Watch them sit down for a weekend. Watch like 8 of their videos from each person. Put the time in. Write notes. Treat it like you're treating a class, because you're investing in yourself. When you invest in yourself, everything else will elevate even better and in a more positive way for your business.
But to add on to that, I would say definitely watch your videos. Learn from the best that's out there, especially because it's free. But there's so many people, including myself when I first started, you'd watch hours and hours and not do a damn thing about it. You would just have this camera and you just want to keep watching videos and videos. I actually know a lot of people right now who are like, Levy, how do I do this? And they have better camera equipment than me. I'm just like, just go out and shoot. Go make mistakes.
Right.
And then the one creative, I think, test that's awesome is get something boring. It's kind of like what you said before. Look at this cup. It's kind of boring. How can I make it look cool? You can make it look cool somehow, some way. Be creative like that, and just imagine what else you can do. Something that is interesting.
Right.
And also, too, to piggyback off of that now, is surround yourself with creatives. As we spoke before the interview or before the podcast started, surround yourself with creative people or people who you want to be around or want to be like in the future, or you see yourself being surrounded by in the future. Don't surround yourself with people who you don't see your future with, or who are living a lifestyle that you don't want to live. Right. Surround yourself with people who are just doing everything that you want to do. Learn off of those people, or you guys learn together, as I am working with Corey and Dean now. Both very creative people, and I have learned so much in the 2.5 months I've been working there. Excellent people. Highly recommend that you guys just surround, as you guys do already, actually.
Right.
Surround yourself with people who you want to be with, or want to be like, or strive to be like in a few years. So
what are you guys seeing as far as trends go? It's actually so you guys are great content creators. We are the ones that you're on one side of the camera, we're on the other side of the camera.
Right.
So it's set up perfectly. What are you guys seeing as far as platforms, trends, what's cutting edge, what's getting the most views? What's the best way to basically get our name out there more?
What about Clubhouse party?
Clubhouse. So
House party, Clubhouse.
I haven't even had time to look at that thing.
I downloaded it.
Can someone explain? I don't know. I see it all over Facebook. I don't even know what it is.
I think that's the main flaw, is because Clubhouse, it's from what I understand, it's like an audio chat room, right? So there's no camera, but it's almost like a live podcast you can put a lot of people in there, right? But the problem that I see with it, and the reason that people like me and Charles haven't actually used it, is it's like you can't use it on at your leisure, right? So if you get a notification that there's a Clubhouse going on and somebody started a room, I literally have to stop working and click the app, and that's the only way to engage with it. It's not you can't watch content that was posted 10 minutes ago.
So you have to listen to it there.
Okay. Can you use it? See, when I think about this, I think about it in two functions. I think about Clubhouse as at nighttime people do it, instead of watching TV or watching YouTube videos, now they're jumping into these things. Right. Or can you use it as almost like a streaming function for audio? So let's say we're doing the real estate rant or whatever we're doing, right? You would normally go live on Twitter and TikTok and whatever. Can you set up one of those chat rooms, and now you have the audio version? So
I don't even know how to use it. Sorry.
So it sounds like it's like a Snapchat of audio, right? It's like basically Snapchat. Like you
Yeah.
see it once and that's it.
But it's longer form, which is another flaw with it, because how are you supposed to keep somebody's attention for that long? With a podcast, for instance, if you are driving to work right now listening to this podcast and you don't listen to the full entire thing, guess what? When you go out of work and you drive home, you can listen to the rest.
Oh yeah,
Clubhouse, it's like you got to jump in on the conversation.
that is a major flaw actually,
But I don't think that's a
But
bad thing. Well,
it's also a very, very cool. It's
because it makes you
negative
attentive then to.
But again, for people like me and Charles or
Right.
you guys, you're constantly moving around and busy all day. Like I can't necessarily jump into a Clubhouse and listen to it.
I think the market just adjusts for the quality of content. I think it ups the level of quality of content. You know why? Because unless somebody, it's all about time. Who would you love to hear speak like live more than anything?
Yeah.
Not relevant. He told me every day. Like just think of somebody famous, no pressure, that you'd really love to
Grant.
listen. Okay.
Grant, I always jump in.
You want to listen to Grant. If Grant is going into Clubhouse one time and one time only on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock at the worst
People
possible
will stop.
time,
People will
you are
stop.
going to stop doing what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
You know what? Fuck you.
No, I hear Eric on this. I hear Eric on this.
I can't even watch my favorite show. I can't commit to a time like unless it's about like I'm constantly being pulled in 10 different directions. I will never put in my. This is why I watch Netflix.
Is this the New
Because
Yorker in
I
us?
can-
It's just not convenient.
No, this is why I watch Netflix or Amazon. I never watch a show live. I've never actually watched Walking Dead on Wednesdays or whenever it came out because I would just always forget that it's 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. So I watch it on Netflix when it's already came out. Yeah, I'm a season behind, but it's at my leisure.
My opinion is value and priority. So if somebody's good enough, if somebody's putting out content that is that good, most people, maybe not Eric, because you're a lot busier than the average person, is going to stop at whatever time and they're going to.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I'm on Eric on this part. Is I don't form my schedule around somebody posting content.
Do you turn notifications on for people that you follow?
I turn every notification off for everything because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get
has
anything
to.
done.
That's exactly what Eric is saying.
But
Most people aren't like us. Number
Yep.
one. Number two, it's just another medium. Like I'm not saying.
I also watched that movie on Netflix where I feel like social media is taking over your brain. So,
Oh,
Dilemma?
so I
yes.
turned off all my notifications.
That's not a bad idea, honestly, and you're probably more productive because of it.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, you become so addictive to your phone and wanting to get back to people right away and missing business and whatever. Because now, listen, I buy a ton of real estate through social media. People are like, oh, you're on social media. I'm like, dude, you know how many people DM me? I have a
Right.
property.
Right.
You know, through Facebook Messenger, I have a
girlfriend.
property.
My girlfriend. Oh, you're always on your phone.
Oh, I was gonna say you're
Yeah, but I'm working on my phone. It's not like when you're on your phone, you're scrolling. I don't scroll.
yeah.
I don't scroll. I answer messages. Even when I'm scrolling for with intention
It's productive.
to engage, to see what everybody's doing,
Mm-hmm.
to stalk a little bit, like. But it's like not in that way. You fucking.
Hey, that's an edit.
Nope, stay in it.
No, yeah, stay in it. That's an edit.
But what other trends like Charles was saying?
So Instagram's kind of dying,
transition.
honestly. Yeah, very good. Instagram's kind of
You think
dying.
Instagram's dying?
I think it's kind of
fucking love
dying.
Instagram,
No, it's
bro.
great. It's great, but for
You think it will die?
no,
or
I
it's
just think
dying?
it's on the downward
It's
trend.
losing steam.
I'll think
Because
it'll be
of
like
memes.
Facebook.
You don't think that
It's
they're
just
able
like
to
memes, you
use-
know?
You don't think they're able to use like reels and all those other things?
No,
to
they can
try and stay
They-
relevant.
No, well, they're trying to stay relevant. That's why they're not doing their own thing. They're following trends.
What about
trends? Facebook? Facebook is
It's kind of done already.
no, it's
You don't
not.
think so?
Facebook is for business. Facebook is A1. Facebook is A1 for business. Instagram is not A1 for business because the meme culture. That's not solely the reason why, but memes are oversaturating Instagram so much that when you go on your phone, when you go on your phone and you scroll through and all you see are the same people or not the same people, the same memes going back and forth with the same jokes, you get kind of bored of it and you're just all right, done with that. I don't want to view that anymore. I'm going to go to a different app now. Since it's all oversaturated, they're going to look over your content and they're not going to pay attention to it because they're like, oh, it's just another video or something. Not just everyone's
No, I know.
content. Yeah. And that's basically it. That's what happened. That was the downfall of Twitter, was because all of those random memes and jokes, that's how where memes came from, I think, for Twitter. I believe. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. But the downfall of Twitter, because Twitter was huge in 2010 to 2013, beginning of 2014. It was huge. And then when Vine and Instagram came out, or when it started to blow up, Twitter, no one really tweeted anymore, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why was because everyone saw everything on Twitter and was just like, this is so repetitive. Now Instagram's getting repetitive. Facebook, yes, is getting repetitive, but Facebook is also a great ad platform for businesses. And whenever you go on, their what's that called? Their algorithm for targeting your target audience is just superb.
Extremely
intelligent. It's superb.
See, here's the thing that I'm starting to struggle with, and I can just see it becoming a bigger problem as we go down the road. You would need essentially a team of people to do this with you. Is that so? Right now, Levy and I, we have a good schedule. We're shooting 2 days a week, and we shoot extensively, and then we're releasing stuff every single day. Mm-hmm. But we're posting on, and the next step is to tailor it a little bit more of what we're doing to each individual platform. So we want to tailor things a little bit more towards LinkedIn, because LinkedIn acts very differently than, let's say, Facebook or Instagram. So the question becomes, how do you keep up with all this shit? Like, we're posting on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. What am I missing?
You say Twitter?
Yeah.
I think you got it all.
Snapchat, TikTok.
You're also doing your own text your text thing.
Text platform, right? And we're posting, let's say, anywhere from 50 to 100 pieces of content a day.
Right.
Now you start adding a new platform like every year. Bro, how do you keep up with this?
Well, that's what you either reduce.
I think so. Sorry.
It's okay.
Back to your question about what would you tell a young person that's trying to get in the business?
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening to this and you heard what Charles just said, that's an immense opportunity for you. There's a demand in the marketplace for social media managers and content creators, and if you can do both, and you go to Charles and fresh out of college, you ask for whatever dollar amount, you even do it for free for a month and say, hey, try, or 2 weeks or whatever it is. Like, that's a huge. I feel like the only way to do what you're trying to do is to hire and build a team.
Yeah, but then,
like you were saying.
But then from our standpoint as business people, right? So there's two sides to this. Our standpoint as business people, we have to make sure that we see that, and then we can structure and build a business to be able to support that level of payroll every week, right? Because otherwise, if you're just hiring someone to do advertising work, like you would just advertise in newspapers. You pay for it, and that's it. If you don't want to pay for it, you stop. You have to build a team and then manage them. And
I'm sorry.
No.
That was very rude of me. Dean and Corey and myself, but mainly Dean and Corey, are working on something very great. It's called the Business Beacon. I think they might have mentioned it to you once or twice in passing. But they're creating this thing called the Business Beacon. And the Business Beacon is basically, they do everything for you, where they create your content, and then they post the ads. We run data analytics on the ads. We're very close with the web developer. So all you have to do is show up, record all your things, and we take care of all the rest of posting and the ads and stuff like that. And that's how you scale your business way farther. So you have more time to do what you guys need to do, and the Business Beacon can do everything else.
So as a content creator, do you think it's important that you kind of broaden your services a bit and say, hey, listen, like, I'm gonna learn this camera. I'm gonna perfect this, but I'm also going to read up and study and implement on how to post and actually manage a social media page. So this way, when you go to a business owner or a fix and flip investor, you can say, I do both.
Yeah.
You think that's a value, a differentiator?
No, that is 100%.
I think there's a lot of videographers, and there's also a lot of social media managers. There's not many that will do both.
Well, that's the thing.
If I can hire one person instead of two people, or instead of hiring one person and an agency and a subscription, if I can just hire one person, pay one salary, and he or she spearheads it, it's best for me.
But here's the thing: at the end of the day, also, I know everybody wants to try to like outsource stuff or be able to hire people to do it. My own personal feeling, and I might be wrong. Maybe it's because I'm on the smaller business side and I like to be in front of the camera. I feel like somebody has to be the face of the business, and somebody,
Right.
and if it's your business, you have to be leading that charge.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
I
just
agree.
leave it up to somebody else, because a lot of people try to do it. They hire people who just post like
Yeah.
pictures of
Garbage.
fucking dogs on their
Yeah.
Instagram. They're like, I'm posting, it's good. Like, dude, you have 3 followers and nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Right. You can't delegate something that you don't do,
Yeah.
that you haven't already done.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you can't be at. You can't. Well, you can actually. It's just you don't sleep. You could do everything that you want to do if you don't sleep, right?
But like I think
Yeah.
it becomes a second, like it's a muscle that you have to work.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, if so, Levy came in here and we got really organized,
Right.
And then the holidays came and we like fell off for a couple weeks, and I'm like, I felt all out of whack and we weren't being productive. And then Levy and I sat down and we're like, bro, we're gonna organize this. I think there's a lot of people out there that are like, yo, this shit takes a lot of time. It doesn't have to. If you organize it properly, like Levy and I are shooting Wednesdays and Thursdays. We could probably shoot for 3 hours each day, and that's a lot. And that 6 hours fills every platform with more content.
I mean, we shot yesterday 3 hours. What? And that was 3 videos right there, right? 3 videos in 3
And
hours.
then
That's the
from-
same thing that I do with Corey and now Train is every Wednesday from 10 to 1.
Yeah.
I speak at loan officer events across the country, and they bring me in and they talk about how, how did you grow your business using Instagram? And I go through my slides and I have a whole presentation, and I have a bunch of general principles that you need to understand. And everybody always comes up to me after, especially being loan officers, we're extremely busy. We're being pulled in 10,000 different directions, like I always say. And they always say, where do you find the time to shoot all of this content? And I always tell them I spend 10 to 1 on Wednesdays. That's it. Just like any other activity that you need to do on a consistent basis, there should be time blocks for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the posting of the actual content. So to create, let's say I record the content, nobody posts for me, I don't have an individual who does that. They send it over to me in a Google Drive, and it takes maybe 30 seconds to write a caption and put it out there.
Right.
So the time-consuming stuff, I'm not saying if you're a business owner or a realtor or whatever you are, I'm not saying go grab a camera, you shoot the content, you edit it, you post it, and you got to do it every single day, right? Because then that's what people think.
Yeah.
That's what people think you do. Like, how do you manage it all? You're not editing it. You're not shooting it. You're also not, you don't have the camera on you 24/7, although there's an illusion that there is because of the amount of content that you put out. It looks like you record every day, but you don't. I used to when I was at a smaller scale, I would meet up with a videographer and photographer, or he was both, video and photo, once a month for 3 hours, and I would bring 3 outfits. Talk about like completely scale. Like now it looks like I was at 3 different photo shoots. Meanwhile, it was the same day within 3 hours, just I brought 3 suits. That's what I used to do.
That's smart.
Or you could do that too. And during those 3 hours with those 3 different suits, you could also create at least 3 to 4 different pieces of content from just
Yeah.
taking the micro content from it. Exactly. Like for this podcast, there's
can
probably
chop it
bits
up.
and
It's going
pieces.
to turn into 20
Yeah.
pieces of content.
Exactly. So that's how you could conquer that too.
In 1 hour.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now from the outside looking in, it looks like you shot 20 different videos. So there is time. Yes, you do outsource some of it, but you don't have to outsource some of it because you're not doing, like you said, you don't need to, you can't outsource everything because you have to be the face of the business. But if
Exactly.
you focus on being the face and somebody else edits, or you
Yes.
You just have to be
Yeah.
organized, I think.
Yeah.
You just have to be organized and efficient.
Exactly.
The concept here is pre-production. That's what we call it, is pre-production planning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Yeah.
everyone's hitting on right now. You just really need to plan it. That's all it really is. There's enough hours in the day to make enough content, like in 3 hours. Imagine what you could do in 5.
I think there's something also that I want everybody to understand and appreciate. I have a tremendous amount of respect for what you guys do on a creative level, on a work level, and I didn't appreciate it as much until I had Levy actually here in the office. So I never tell people, I think people hear about pricing, about creating content and things like that, and they freak out because they don't understand what you guys do and exactly how much work goes into it. So A, there's the creative aspect, which you can't put a price on that. B, it's not the standing there in front of the camera for 5 minutes. it's everything else on the back end that goes into that. Like, talk to people about the post-production. Like, Levy and I will shoot for 3 hours, and he'll be editing for like a week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He'll
For
like,
every hour
takes
it
forever.
takes how long? What's the ratio? For every hour of content you
Honestly, depends.
It depends on the level of creativity.
yeah,
has
it
a-
depends on how
Like,
how crazy
some
you
of his
wanna go.
videos, like Charles' videos, is just like me filming him talking, insert some B-roll. That could
putting in the layout. and
Yeah,
that's it.
graphics. That's another thing. Like you mentioned VFX. Like we do any kind of motion graphics, visual effects. That's a
Also
whole nother
depends on your
beast.
laptop too, because the render time is what
no
really render time is what really.
You got a new computer,
I
right?
bought him like
Yeah.
a spaceship.
That's
Everyone
fire.
doesn't
See it
know.
outside.
Charles hooked me up with an Alienware computer.
That's height. That's
and
height.
That's
I
what
almost
they use for
never want to
gaming.
go home.
Yeah.
That's what they use for gaming.
Yeah, I might just stay here one night, just
Did
play
you know
video
I
games
used to
all
play
night.
World of Warcraft?
That was
did not
huge
know
where I
this
went to
thing
school.
So Alienware was like the shit. Like you needed
Bro, I
that.
can't sit in front of anything for more than
Oh, that was one of my first addictions.
3
though.
minutes.
But you sit here and work. Same thing. I used to work in World of Warcraft.
All right, that makes sense.
It was like a grind. It was like skills, get money, build armor, that stuff. RuneScape also.
I want people to. Jeez. I want. Taking my mic back after that. I want people to understand exactly, like when you go out there and people ask for content creation and you quote them pricing. I want people to understand exactly what goes into it, from like a pre-production, post-production.
got you.
Just all the time what your equipment costs, right? So that they really, can really have the appreciation that Eric and myself do. Let me get back in.
Levy, you want to take this one or I'll take this one? I feel like we both have a clear understanding of all this.
Yeah, we have the same gear pretty
Okay.
much.
All right.
So I mean, it's just dumb expensive.
Yeah, so camera equipment, especially Sony's, as this studio is surrounded by, as what I use, what Corey uses, what almost every videographer uses is Sony or either Canon, and those prices are just way too high for a camera. Cameras should not cost well over
In all fairness, though, like
$3,000.
a camera, like for cinema movies,
Oh, for cinemas, yes,
$10,000, $20,000.
That's okay, but that's for budgets that are in the millions.
Yeah.
Cameras that we're using, like the S3, is
$3,500.
No, it's $4,500 now.
$4,500
with all the kits and stuff
It's
that you need
mine.
for it.
$2,000.
Yeah, the lenses. So all the equipment is super expensive,
and that's just the camera, not the
yeah,
lens.
that's just the camera, not the lens.
The
Now
memory
people-
cards, batteries.
Yep. And then you have to get, let's say, the monitor right there. Monitors are super expensive too. Tripods, if you want a quality tripod. If you're like run and gun, as we were speaking about before earlier, if you're running and gunning and you can only carry it in the backpack or so, you want lightweight and you want durability. Because when you're moving around, you're gonna hit something, right?
Let's talk about the backpack.
You're gonna hit something and it's gonna break. And camera equipment can be extremely fragile. That's why camera bags are also super expensive, because they have the padding inside, and some have waterproof capabilities. But you want lightweight, you want durability, and you want quality images. And if you want all those things, you're gonna look at spending, at least in just a backpack, probably around like $12,000 starting.
So I want to close out with this, and I want everyone to kind of weigh in on this. There's somebody out there, let's say it's a realtor, a mortgage person, anything, business professional. They haven't created any content. They want to start creating content, but they don't really have a budget because they don't have the money, and they don't know how to start. What is kind of like the ABCs for someone to start creating content that's not too overwhelming, but develop some kind of a system where they'll get traction?
Got it. Okay. So no budget, correct?
No budget.
And they want to start. They don't have a camera. They don't have anything. Use your phone. From your phone, just instead of recording selfie this way and using the front camera, use the back camera right here. Higher quality. You could change the settings, and I think it shoots like, do they shoot 4K now?
Yeah, it has 4K.
Yeah, they shoot 4K now. And then you can get a cheap tripod from Amazon that's like $20 or so, and a ring light. You could get those, and you look so much better from just shooting. If I just shot you just like this, you would look okay. But if you have the ring light,
Unless
as a
you're
lot
Charles,
of TikTok
then
users,
you're super freaking handsome. Right?
And you look great.
Without flipping the camera.
and all
around.
you do is you just record your video and post it. And when you post, just as we talked before, or just as I literally just said before, it's what you do with your content after that. But if someone's just getting started into it, record, say whatever you want, find out what works for you or not. It's going to be over the first year, possibly 2 years. It's just going to be trial and error. most of it. And you're going to learn, or whoever is listening right now is who's just starting your business, is you're going to learn that there are a lot of things that you thought was going to work but aren't. And more often than not, that's going to be the case. And the things that you do find that do work, go off on that. Don't keep on thinking to yourself that, oh, everyone's doing it this way, so I should be doing it this way. No, you're not everybody. You're an individual. You make your own decisions in life. You should be finding out what works best for you, not what works best for everybody.
Right. Levy?
Oh, just go out and shoot.
Yeah. See?
Stop
exactly.
thinking. If you have to like get motivation,
you should get a shoot.
Just shoot.
You should.
Or shooter.
Yeah, just stop thinking about it. Just do
shooter.
it.
Yeah.
You know what's the worst case scenario? You don't like it. Guess what? You could delete it and just do it over. So just do it. That's it.
I think the question that I always get is like, what do I say? What video do I make? I always go straight to how did you get in the business? Shoot a 2-minute video on that, because that's personable. It's not boring. It's not an advertisement. It's a story, right? So like, how did you get in the business is a perfect first video. If you have 0 videos on your social media, if you just created your social media pages, that should be your first video. That's where you start. Then you can go into frequently asked questions. If you're a real estate professional, you get asked questions every single day. And what's crazy is they're usually the same questions over and over again. Every single one of those questions is a content opportunity, right? So you say the same thing too. I find myself saying the same thing over and over again all day. That's what I do. Put a camera in front of you. Do that. And above all, if I'm 0 budget, just starting out, don't know what to say, above everything is consistency, right? So I was putting out content for 2 years before I'm talking about every single day. Maybe not a video, maybe not a post every single day, but stories every single day for over 2 years before I caught any traction. And during those 2 years, I had high school friends say to me, "What do you think, you're a motivational speaker? Well, like, what's this motivation meme that you're always posting?" Like, low vibration people coming at me, not really understanding what I see, what I was doing, where I was going. And now those same people are coming to me like, I get it now. Yeah. You were consistent for 2 years with no likes, no comments, no nothing. And now, so we're in a microwave society. So social media content creation is not to get results right away, you should not be expecting it. Expect nothing and do it consistently. Don't even look for results. Don't even look at analytics. Just keep putting it out and it will come back to you. Especially if it's educational and you look as handsome as Charles.
That was perfectly said right there.
I'm in. So, I think everyone has to first realize social media is free. So it's fucking awesome. So you need to get on all the platforms. Get on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc. A little bit more advanced thing, you have to remember that this is about attention, right? So how often you're in front of people is whether they're going to remember you or think about you. You could put something out and somebody could love it. Like, let's say for me, I want to buy a house. I put something out and they love it and they think of me, but they don't have an opportunity for me. If I'm not constantly in front of them every time they pick up that phone that they're addicted to, they're not going to remember me. So because of that, you want to post 8:30 in the morning when people are waking up, checking their phone because that's what they do. You want to post lunchtime because people are taking a break, they're going to eat food, they're going to look. You want to post 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night when people get out of work because they're looking at their phones. You want to try and hit those things. As far as what you're going to create, don't overthink it. Eric said it perfectly. There are things that you deal with on your every single day in life. It comes up, post it. Everyone's basically living life through their phone, through social media. So if somebody calls up Eric, let's say, and has a question, 2 or 3 questions about mortgages, he writes those things down. Those become videos. Same thing with me. People through my text platform. How do I get deals? Tell me about the permit process. Whatever it is, those things become vlogs. They become, stories. They become micro content clips. They become pictures. And I think it's also very important for people to change it up. You don't have to be the most creative person, but you have to change it up. And you can overlap, meaning I can put, something will pop into my head, like for me, I'm more afraid of being average than I am of being broke. That's my saying, right? I might put that as a tweet, take a picture of the tweet, crop it, then post that tweet on Instagram in a story as a post, and you can reuse the same content, because what I think people need to understand is the same people that are not on, everyone's not nuts like we are. People that are on LinkedIn aren't necessarily on everything else. People that are on Facebook aren't necessarily on everything else. Because it's not part of their life. They're not marketing their business using those platforms to market their business. So if you're not everywhere, you're not appealing to everybody.
That's why you got to be everywhere.
Mic drop.
Boom.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Don't drop the mic though; it's expensive. Like this.
Yes.
But also too, if the viewers or the listener wants to get into videography or editing or anything in the creative field, remember that you are more than a creator, and that just because you make videos doesn't mean that you solely make videos. There are other things in life that you should be doing and enjoying, and other responsibilities, because at the end of the day, let's say you're doing something with video and such like that, and for some reason it just doesn't work out, right? You should have other things that you should be able to fall back on and other hobbies to do rather than just video. You're more than what you present yourself to be.
Like if you're trained using your smooth ass voice to talk chicks out of their panties. On that note, Train, if people want to follow you, if they want to get in touch with you, if they want to work with you in any capacity, how do they do that?
Instagram is Train Delos Reyes. That's TrainDelosReyes. And just DM me, follow me, and I'll give you a follow back. That's basically it.
Levy, drop the handles, bro.
Levy makes videos. That's it.
And not your average lender.
Bam. And obviously I'm the Handsome Homebuyer. If you have a house that smells like cat pee, you know it all. Land, commercial property. Remember, I'm a developer now. I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. And if you have permit problems, and Lord knows, if you're in real estate, you fucking have permit problems. You got to call the captain. 516-513-8838. It's a wrap. Bow.
Boom.